Welcome, everybody, to Spokane City Council briefing session for October 16th. We're going to start with roll call. Ms. Sister.
Council President Kinnear.
Present.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Present.
Councilmember Ulrich.
Present.
Councilmember Stratton.
Here.
Councilmember Wilkerson.
Present.
Let the record reflect that Councilmembers Bingle and Zapone are absent. Looks like Councilmember Zapone is out in the...
Yeah, he's en route.
He's pacing out there.
Okay.
And Councilmember Bingle's online. Not yet. He's going to be online. Okay. Let's start with October 16th. And let's go ahead and read. We have some changes. So I have a lot of questions about the retail service area piece, and I'm asking for a 2-week deferral. So I'm wondering if I could have a motion to do that. And my main issues are around the park piece that's outside the UGA, and then around the Indian Trail piece that's up north. So I have more questions, and I need answers. I think we all need answers, yes.
Could we take care of the ones that are not in question and defer the ones that are?
Could we, Eldon?
And yeah, I just would like
Yeah.
Eldon's feedback on this.
Yeah, we have a separate resolution for the 6 that are in the UGA boundary.
Okay.
So we've got the county one separated off with a separate resolution. So
Okay.
we can do whatever you wish.
I like it when you say that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
Council President?
Yes.
Eldon, I thought the county was going to come and present to us.
what they
about
were,
that.
I'm asking for just 2 weeks, then they can come present.
Okay.
It's not just that piece, it's the piece, the Indian Trail up in that. Which number is that, do you know?
Those are part of the 2 of the 6 that are inside the UGA boundary.
Yeah, but I still have questions. So which number was that? Do you remember?
I can tell you. In fact, I got the map here. I can pull it up for you.
Sure.
Sure.
1, 2. Why am I not seeing?
Under the resolutions, I think those are the retail water service.
2.
I think you're looking for the 2 that are up here in the very north part of town.
Yes, sir, I am.
Those 2 right there.
Yes. What numbers are those?
I think one of them is 262130501.
Okay.
I think that's, that's that one. And then the second was 0609.
Okay. And then which one was the park piece?
The park one is 24181.9060.
Why don't I see that?
That's in the second resolution.
Oh, got it.
Oh, I see.
Go ahead.
So, Council President, I would suggest that if you are going to defer portions of the retail service area items, that we do them together, because we've delineated them between outside the UGA and inside the UGA as far as the resolutions. So I think it would be cleaner to address all the questions together, or both of the ordinances together, rather than try to excise a couple of parcels out of one resolution. at
So
this
you're
point in
suggesting
time.
that we defer everything for 2 weeks? Okay.
That would be my suggestion.
Okay.
89
And my question would be, Eldon, what does that do to you and your work schedule and all that?
Just call people up and say it's going to be 2 weeks before we actually hear it. I mean, we're ready to go, so I think we can try to answer any questions you may have.
Okay.
But I'll just make it a point to call everybody up as soon as we get done with this meeting, because I've called all of them right now, tell them it was going to be on tonight's agenda. So to be fair to them, I would just call them back up and say it's going to be deferred for 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I would need a motion,
So moved deferral.
and I would need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? My concern is the park piece. The park one is outside the UGA. I think it's a great idea, but I need more information. I need some assurances that this won't revert back to being 150 homes, whatever, it stays park. And I know we have all the information from the county, but I'm leery, so I just want more reassurances about that piece. And then the two parcels that are up past Indian Trail, I have quite a few questions on that, and I'd like to drag some of you into a meeting with Eldon on that so that we have a very clear understanding of how that works as well.
Are we hearing from a lot of Indian Trail residents?
You will be.
Okay, because I haven't heard anything yet. Okay.
And the county did provide me with a PowerPoint. They had like 6 slides that they wanted to come over and show, and I think they do answer
Yeah.
most of what you're talking about,
Okay.
but we can certainly get that
Just
to
give
you
me-
also.
Just give me 2 weeks, we'll be good.
I can do
So-
that.
Clarity, are we deferring 0089 and
We're deferring
0090?
all of them,
So those two,
Those
because
two.
all are included in there.
yeah.
Yeah, the other 2 that you're talking about are in the 6 that are in the UGA
Right,
boundary.
okay.
So, yep.
Yes, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Or, I'm sorry, no. Thank you. And then we I have a request motion to suspend the rules and add Resolution 0092, which is Councilmember Zapone and Orlick's reaffirming Spokane values of inclusion.
Motion to
So-
suspend the rules.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any noes? Right. Now I need to have a motion to add it to the agenda.
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? Go ahead.
Which version are we adding to the agenda?
The version that Mr. Wright sent out
Just
Actually,
an
no,
hour
it
ago.
was.
20
sent
minutes
more
ago,
recently.
half hour ago?
Yeah, I distributed at, I think it was at 3, a more recent copy. And I also just want to apologize that I know it was late coming and last minute.
Yeah.
But I think this is important, and I've heard from a lot of my community members. So I appreciate your consideration.
So
301.
when we had our meeting with the mayor,
Yep.
she requested, or she had questions about the piece that was changed, which was that the council would be doing the enforcement piece. And that was not the intent. So that was one piece that was changed, and then you changed something else, is that right?
Yes, do you want to
Yeah,
speak more to
there
that?
was one change to add. It was SB 5427, an act relating to supporting people who are targeted or affected by hate crimes by establishing a reporting hotline to the legislative agenda for the city.
Yeah, and I've got a number of questions related to that bill. And so has it gone through the Ledge Committee? What was the outcome? What was the discussion there? I noticed it didn't get exec'd out at the state, so I'm wondering why it didn't get exec'd out. Are there issues with it? I know there's a number of questions regarding what is the process between the Attorney General and law enforcement in terms of reporting these? Are we now creating 2 reporting directions for folks that may not actually get to law enforcement, which is the crux of what we're trying to do, is to get law enforcement to investigate? So I've got a whole series of questions, and I have yet to see any answers.
So I've just briefly talked to Councilmember Bingle, like right now. So transparency and Councilmember Wilkerson. It's not fully like discussed through the whole committee process, but the 3 council members on it have all talked about it.
And endorsed it?
So Councilmember Bingle said he was going to look over it this evening still, but Councilmember Wilkerson and I both said we supported it.
Right, to be advocated for.
To be advocated for. This came to us from discussions over the weekend from some organizations working against hate crimes. Looking at it, talking to the Spokane Regional Human Rights Task Force, also signed in favor of support of this to the state legislature last session. Just looking at how to get this more support, that it would actually refer. Hate crimes are not tracked at all across the state right now, so this is copying Oregon's model, and that this would create a model here, and then when people call into the Attorney General's office, they would refer them back to local law enforcement for follow-up investigation, but it's more of a tracking mechanism.
So now they have to make 2 calls.
My understanding is the Attorney General's office would follow up. Again, this is through the legislative process, when we have our lobbyists advocating for it, those are things that we can bring up and ask for those changes through the legislative process too.
Well, I would rather our ledge committee actually have a conversation around this, bring back some recommendations on what that should look like, and then bring that to us. I mean, I'm happy to entertain that, but to throw it in a messaging bill doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, this is probably not going to be a tier 1 legislative agenda, tier 2. And so normally throughout the tier 2 process, we discuss and deploy the lobbyists throughout the process anyway.
Well, we're saying we're adding it to our ledge agenda. Presumably that means it's a tier 1 agenda item.
I don't think that's been decided.
Well, again, we need the ledge committee to have a conversation.
This is just adding it to the agenda.
So I don't have any issues with the rest of this, but I do have issues with a bill I haven't read, haven't had time to read, haven't analyzed, haven't talked to the chief about what this will do to the law enforcement side of. There's no one from police here to talk to us about it. I really resent having a last minute addition of something on, frankly, a resolution that's as important as this one is, and to muddy it up with something that nobody's had time to read and analyze. Doesn't make sense to me.
My response is I think that this is an opportunity for us to make a statement as a city, and I think that this is a perfect opportunity to make that.
So let me ask a question. If there might be an opportunity for a unanimous vote on this, could we vote on the first proposal that you put out? And then it would give people time to read the state stuff that you added, and then we could add that later? Could we?
Better
Have an amendment
process
to
would be
add
to
those?
probably make a motion to amend this to cut that part out, because there were other changes. So if it was just this last part, it would be probably a motion to
Cut that out
Cut
until
that out,
people can
yeah.
read it and
Delete.
get it.
Delete is the
My-
word you're looking for.
My request would be to, I think maybe the best way to do it would be to remand that last, therefore, to the ledge committee for review.
Mr. Bingle, Councilmember Bingle, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm generally in support of what's happening with this resolution, but I also have questions on, bills that I haven't read yet. That's not to say I wouldn't agree with it or anything like that, but I would like the ability to process the language first, if possible. And so I'm, while in support of this resolution, I support Member Cathcart's statements on the SB 5427, just because I don't want to be voting on a bill I haven't seen yet. So.
Okay, now, is there an appetite for deleting the last bit that Councilmember Cathcart is noticing?
Is there a motion?
I will make a motion that we remove the last, therefore, regarding the Senate bill, and we send that back to the ledge committee for further review.
Would you be interested in amending that to say, the language saying, we support, the Spokane City Council will send to the legislative committee SB 5427? So it's still in the resolution, but says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So then the language there would be the Spokane, be it therefore resolved, City Council sends for review SB 5427 to the legislative committee.
Can I suggest
Okay.
maybe something a little simpler?
Sure.
Just say,
Yes, please.
change it to say Spokane City Council will consider adding to the legislative agenda and continue with the rest of the verbiage.
But I think Councilmember Cathcart wanted it to specifically go to the committee.
Yeah, I mean, that's our process, and I think that makes sense to me. So I would say the city council through the legislative committee, maybe, does that?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you've introduced a
Friendly amendment?
amendment. We have a second for that.
Second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Everybody's nodding, and I'm going, speak up. All right, we have a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Quick question, sorry.
Go ahead.
This is to send it to the committee. This is the amendment that we're voting on right now?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you. Aye.
all right. Fabulous. Okay.
Good job.
And
you.
then, I think that is it for,
Council President, I don't know if you ever actually voted to add
To the agenda.
it to the agenda.
well,
You voted to amend it, but
Shiver
I'm
Me
not sure we
Timbers.
voted to add
Okay.
it.
Can I have a motion to add it to the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you. All right. What would I do without Mr. Wright? Good. Let's go ahead and brief October 23rd.
All right, for the advanced briefing for October 23rd, under consent items 1 through 3, will be briefed by Dan Buller.
Good afternoon. Item 1 is the proposed contracts with Budinger and Associates and geoengineers for on-call geotechnical engineering services for a span of 2 years with an optional third-year renewal. These firms were selected via request for qualifications process as required by state law. Like the various other specialty engineering contracts I'll be bringing you over the next month or two, these two contracts are paid by the Public Works construction projects for which they are used. Item 2 is the proposed Little Big contract with Cameron Riley of Spokane for $1.175 million plus a proposed 10% administrative reserve for the 2023 street maintenance curb ramp project. 2 other bids were received. This project constructs ADA compliant curb ramps at intersection corners where the street department has done or will do grind and overlays, and we bid out this work because the street department crews don't have the capacity to do that many ramps. A small part of this work may be done yet this year, but the bulk of it will be done in the spring. And finally, item 3, proposed easement at a cost of $135,000 with Latah Creek Plaza LLC for a sewer easement across the south side of Yoke's grocery store parking lot, the one on Cheney Spokane Road just off Highway 195. This easement will permit extension of a large diameter sewer main south on Cheney Spokane Road, extending further south on Cedar Road. And there's unfortunately no public right-of-way into which this sewer main can be installed, and hence the need for the easement.
Any questions? We're good.
Thank you, Dan. Number 4 is an interlocal agreement between the City of Spokane, Spokane Transit Authority, and the Spokane County, and this will be briefed by Colin Quinhurst.
Good afternoon, council members. This is an agreement between the 3 parties to conduct the TOD pilot program grant for Division Street, which would select 3 to 4 station areas along Division to do transit-oriented development planning.
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Colin. Number 5 is a multiple family housing property tax exemption conditional agreement, and this will be briefed by Terry Stripes.
Council President, Council, thank you. This project is in District 1. It is going to construct 4 housing units on Mariette Avenue, and that is across the street from the new school down there. And this project expects to finalize the project as a 8-year program. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Number 6 is an agreement between the city and American Traffic Solutions, and I don't see Eric also. Oh,
No,
perfect.
Teresa.
Teresa. All right, perfect.
Good afternoon. So this is, if you remember, we extended the contract several times since we started it in 2007. We revisited and remade the new contract with a 5-year agreement and 4 other future 5-year agreements after this.
Questions? Great.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Teresa. Number 7 is claims and payments. 8 is the minutes, and moving into the legislative agenda, we have one special.
Before we do that, we need to suspend the rules to add an item that's going to be setting the revenue hearing for next week's consent agenda. So could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Sorry, I had a question on that real quick.
Go ahead.
Why is it that we need to get it done next week? We have to suspend the rules. We can't wait another week?
I'm not sure I understand the question. What do you mean?
Why it needs to
Suspend the
go.
rules to add it. Why not put it through the regular process here?
This was the date agreed upon with administration on setting the hearing for the 30th. I'd missed the deadline to submit it to OnBase last week because I forgot that there was an extra week involved when you set a hearing. So I was a week off, so that was on me, Councilmember Bingle.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, now I need a motion to add the item to the agenda for next week.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Councilmember Bingle?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, now we can go on.
Thank you, Council President. So we have a special budget ordinance, Ordinance C-36452 for the American Rescue Plan Fund, and this will be briefed by Matt Boston.
Yes, thank you. So this is the SBO that was brought through Finance Committee last month. This is sweeping back funds in the tune of about 1.8 million, $1.2 million, as well as reallocating $4 million of previously appointed funds for an affordable housing project that has some questions on it. I know that there's been a handful of questions that have happened thus far about this particular project, the Liberty Park project. In talking to Nicolette this afternoon, or this morning, we had discussed that since this isn't going to the COC board, that we were going to discuss the idea of getting the information for the Liberty Park project presented to all of you prior to making the allocation of the 1590 funds to the Liberty Park project. So that is something that could be changed before the legislative action is actually made on the 23rd.
Questions?
Can I just ask if, Nicolette, do you need to add anything?
So I get persnickety about specific things, not the COC board, Housing Action Subcommittee, no, it's okay. It's just incredibly important to still get this moving along so that we can let the track process continue so that they can get the contract together so that presumably we can get it done in time that they would have a January 1st start date for track. And this is just one piece of identifying the overall total funds needed for 2024 track, but we do want to get answers to what's going on with that project. Just to make sure that you using those ARPA funds and then transitioning it to 1590 is still not only allowable use, but we have some sort of idea of what the status of that project is. And then we have yet to find that out, but hopefully we will get that information.
Has this gone to the committee?
This has not gone to the Housing Action Subcommittee, and in fact, my Housing Action Subcommittee was supposed to be voting on their bylaws on Thursday, and they can no longer do that since there's discussion about taking 1590 from the purview of the Housing Action Subcommittee. And so in good conscience, I can't hold that meeting and have them vote on their bylaws and review a project, especially when I have nothing for them to review. Sorry about that.
Any other questions for either Matt or Nicolette?
Thank you both.
Thank you.
And then that concludes the briefing for October 23rd.
So, as you noticed, we have one special budget ordinance in our ledge session next week. So I'm proposing that we combine it with the 3:30 briefing, as we've done other times when it's been a short ledge session. We will still have open forum at the 3:30, and we will still take testimony on this. So I need a motion to move next week's 6 p.m. legislative session to immediately follow 3:30 briefing session. Jacoby, I don't think you wrote this correctly.
Blame Jacoby.
We want to incorporate this into the 3:30.
I think you're going to want to have your 3:30 briefing session and then start your legislative session after.
After 3:30.
After 3:30, yeah,
Not at 6.
correct.
Okay.
I will so move that we combine our legislative agenda with our briefing session for next Monday.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
There you go.
Discussion, anyone? We've typically not done this exactly this way. That's why I was questioning you.
Combining the two into one.
Yeah, we haven't called it a ledge session. We've just put it into briefing. That's fine.
Okay.
This is fine. Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. All right, and what I will
Aye.
do is I will announce at the beginning of our 6 o'clock meeting that we're going to do that, so people don't show up at 6 o'clock. So now I need, what?
Next week.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. 6 o'clock tonight for 6
Gotcha.
o'clock.
I just
Okay.
had to ask.
Okay, sorry.
I
Now,
wasn't paying attention.
that's okay, it's fine. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right,
Aye.
we're done? We have,
Executive session.
we have an executive session on, what's it going to be, what's the topic again? Litigation. It will be 15 minutes.
City Council is extending its executive session 18 minutes until 4:30 PM. No further action is expected upon their return.
Spokane City Council briefing session is adjourned. We will see you at our 6 o'clock legislative session.